Welcome to Values and Beliefs, guys. This is a video that is helping you if you're reading Digging Your Dark Side through your values and beliefs, if you're really struggling to work out how to realign these and what your old limiting beliefs might have been. So when you grab your book, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to break the page into two parts. So at the top is your old values and at the bottom is your old beliefs. If you prefer, you could break the page down in the center. You just do it the way that it feels best for you visually. I've given you a couple of examples on this one for you. So an old value might be that you have a fear of rejection. So you find that you're always focusing on doing things because you're scared of rejection. So it might be you've noticed in your life you don't take very many chances. You don't ask that guy or that girl out because you're worried they'll reject you. You've got business or entrepreneurial skills that you don't really use to your full potential because you're worried that you might get rejected in the business world. So you'll be able to know by the things that you do what's really driving you and why you're making those choices. So that's your old values. So really have a good think about choices you've made in your life and why you might have been driven to make those choices or driven to not make choices because you're concerned or you have fears that are really driving you. So that's your old limiting values. Then the next thing you're going to do based on those values is what kind of beliefs must you be thinking to be having those values? So if you're worried about rejection and you're concerned about that, and that's a value that you're holding on to because you're trying to avoid it because it would cause pain for you, what must you believe? You must believe that maybe you're not good enough. Otherwise, you wouldn't be worried about rejection because you would feel quite confident that people would accept you. So that might be the belief that is behind your value. So hopefully you understand that. The best way to do it, as I explain in the book, is to really think hard about decisions you have or haven't made, patterns you can see in your life that keep recurring because you're holding on to these limiting ideas of yourself. So once you've got that out, you can really see why you're making certain choices. It's a very powerful thing to do. And then on your next page, the more exciting part of this process is looking at what your new values and your new beliefs will be. So these are ones you're going to choose for yourself. The beautiful thing about values and beliefs are they're not ingrained in you, they're not stuck in your soul and you have to stay to the same ones that you choose when you're born or the things that just automatically happen, evolved in your life. You can change them at any time. I've changed mine over the years. I do a passion test with a beautiful lady called Amanda Lee, and that was a phenomenal experience. And since I did that passion test with her, I've done it again since, and my values and beliefs have shifted. So it's definitely something you should revisit quite often and realign them depending on what you're going through in your life. The reason you would have picked some of these old limiting values and beliefs is because they would have served a purpose for you at one point in your life. So there's definitely there's some value. Don't beat yourself up because you might have, have some ugly values and beliefs. There would have been a reason. You were protecting yourself from something. They would have had a purpose. But now that you're changing and you're growing, you can come to your new ones. So these are the exciting ones. This is where you get to recourse and reset your life and choose happy, beautiful values and beliefs. So the value I've got as my example at the top might be joy. So you might be choosing now to value joy over fear. So just joyful feelings, valuing love, valuing growth. So instead of holding back because you're worried about rejection, you might go, no way, screw that. I'm now going to value growth and I'm going to really push myself out of my comfort zone and see how far I can take this puppy. And that might be your new value. Then to align with your new value, you need to have a belief system behind that so it drives you and keeps you going. So your new belief might be, I have a deep connection with my loved ones. So your belief is that I believe that everyone who is in my world, I'm extremely connected and have very loving relationships with them. And you'll watch that this starts to change your relationships or your relationship with yourself even. Another new belief system might be that you have so much time. So you may you may have found yourself always going into that busy mindset, which is probably 90% of our Western world. They're so busy. If you want to start changing that very limiting belief, because I had it myself, as you would have read in the book, start telling yourself that you have so much time. Change your belief, change your value, and ingrain them into your head. So as it says in the book, it is up to you how you do this. Once you've gone through this process and you've run through what your old limiting beliefs were, you've now realigned yourself with something that excites you and gets your juices flowing, and you will know it's the right belief and value because you'll have a nice little spark go off inside of you when you read over them. You'll know they're the right ones. If you don't get that response, maybe you need to dig a little harder. You might be just sort of being a little complacent with the process. So make sure you get that nice feeling and juicy feeling inside when you look at your new values and your new beliefs. And you can either keep your old ones so you can look at them and remind yourself when you go into autopilot and you start thinking your limiting thoughts, to remind you, no, I'm not thinking like that anymore, and flick it over and go, this is me, and recite your new beliefs and your new values to yourself. The other way you can do it, which is quite a nice way to do it too, is to really choose to be theatrical and rip that page out of your book of your old values, keep your new ones in there, scrunch it up, pop it in the sink, burn it. Or even outside, make sure you've got water on standby. Always when you're dealing with fire, make sure you're being safe, and just burn it, because you know you're no longer holding on to those ideas that were holding you back, that were stopping you from being the most amazing version of yourself that you really are. So that's hopefully helped you go through your values and your beliefs. Please take your time with it. I can't stress that enough. And make sure you recite them to yourself all the time. Infuse them into yourselves. Remind yourself on a daily basis your new values and your new beliefs. Have a beautiful day, guys. Enjoy this process. It should be a lot of fun, and I will see you soon. Big love.